Good evening, StreamYard and YouTube fans. And as you see down below, this is Season 2, Week 5. These are the offline games. And I thought I had made a mistake. Unfortunately, I was wrong. Um, Pittsburgh, these games are Pittsburgh versus France and Green Bay versus Chengdu. And let me take a look at the cards. We're looking at the Pittsburgh France game first. And there were no breaking news items because the French tricycles, their semi-inept quality, or I should say their staunch quality, became inept. It actually went down two grades last game, not this game. So there were no breaking news for this game at all. And with the final minute of the first quarter, Pittsburgh got a field goal, making it 3-0 at the end of the first quarter. France came back and got a field goal, making it 3-3. At the 6:15 mark, Pittsburgh got a touchdown, and of course, Vince likes going for the extra 2-point conversion, and he got that, making it 11-3. And at the end of the half, just before the end of the half, Pittsburgh got a touchdown run, and he went for the 2-point conversion on that as well, and it was 19-3 at half. Like I said, there were no breaking news either in the first half or in the second half for this game. So let us go right into it. At the 7.5-minute mark of the third quarter, once again, Pittsburgh got a touchdown, but this time they missed the 2-point conversion, and that made it 25-3. At the 10-minute mark, they scored a touchdown, and they got a 2-point conversion, making it 33-3. They got an interception just at the end of the third quarter, and they got an interception for a touchdown, and they got 8 points out of it. They got the 2-point conversion afterwards, making it 41-3. France, at the 8:45 mark of the fourth quarter, started to bring life to their dead body, and they got a touchdown. And there was no sense in going for 2-point conversion, although they could have. It made it 41-10, and they went for a field goal. They got a field goal with 12 at the 12.5-minute mark of the fourth quarter, and that's where it ended with Pittsburgh winning 41-13 in the first game. Let us see. Chengdu and Green Bay versus Chengdu was game 2. And in this one, Green Bay did. They went from dynamic to semi-erratic in this one, so there was something that did happen in the Green Bay Chengdu game. So Green Bay went from dynamic to semi-erratic, and that was, I think, in the first half that happened at the very beginning of the game. Yeah. And Green Bay at the 5-minute mark, they got a touchdown. At the 5-minute mark of the second quarter, they got a second touchdown, making it 14-0. At the 7.5-minute mark, Chengdu got a field goal, 14-3. At the 10-minute mark, Green Bay got another touchdown, 21-3. And Chengdu had a field goal opportunity at the 11:15 mark of the first quarter, and that field goal failed. Green Bay got a field goal with at the 13:45 mark of, I should say, the second quarter. So the second quarter ended 24-3 in favor of Green Bay. There were no breaking news for the second half. Green Bay got a touchdown at the 7.5-minute mark of the third quarter, 31-3. Chengdu wound up getting a touchdown. They went for the 2-point conversion, making it 31-11. Chengdu got a touchdown at the 12.5-minute mark of the third quarter, making it 31-19. And that's, my friends, as close as they could get. Green Bay got a touchdown at the very end of the third quarter, making it 37-19. Chengdu fumbled at the very beginning of the fourth quarter, the 3:45 mark, and Green Bay ran it in for a touchdown. That made it, and they missed the extra point on that, so that made it 43-19. Green Bay at the 10-minute mark of the fourth quarter got a touchdown, making it 50-19. And Chengdu got a field goal opportunity. They opted to go for it. They got it. They went for the fourth down conversion. They got that. They had average field position. They got another field goal attempt. They went for it a second time, going for it, and they made it. And that was at the 12.5-minute mark. So there were still 2 ticks on the clock. And they just could not get a scoring drive, because the very next roll was time over, meaning they got a 5 or a 6. I think they got a 6, and that ended the game. So this one ended up 50-19 in favor of Green Bay. Currently, in the standings, Green Bay is 5-0. Green Bay's 5-0. Pittsburgh's 3-2. Vegas is 1-3. Carolina is 0-4. London is 4-0. Chengdu and Busan are 2-2. The difference being that Chengdu has more points than Busan, and France is in last place at 1-4. Green Bay and London are still your bye week opponents. I mean, they get bye weeks for the first week. Vegas, if they were playing the playoffs right now, Vegas would be playing at Pittsburgh for the week 1 playoffs, and Busan would be at Chengdu playing the first week playoff game. The games of the week for games 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 are as follows. Busan versus Pittsburgh, and this is week 6. The televised games will be Busan versus Pittsburgh, London versus Green Bay. Week 7, you have Vegas versus Pittsburgh, Chengdu versus London. Week 8 is Carolina versus France, and Green Bay versus Busan. Week 9, you have Green Bay versus Pittsburgh, Busan versus Chengdu. In week 10, you have Chengdu versus Vegas, and Busan versus Carolina, and that is your schedule for the next 5 weeks. So I've got that's your schedule for the next 5 weeks, uh, and this is a 14-week season, and in basically 2 more weeks, the week 7 is the halfway point of the season, and we'll take a look at things and from there and see how things are going. But just coming to share with you the the offline games for week 5. Um, and that means that uh, this coming week we will have Pittsburgh versus France first, and Green Bay. I'm sorry. We'll have Vegas versus Busan, and Carolina versus London. I apologize for that. Vegas versus Busan and Carolina versus London in the Fast Drive football games. I don't know if you noticed this or not, but if you saw my last episode, it was FC Cincinnati versus New England. Now, if you want to compare it to what actually happened in my game, it was 1-0 in favor of FC Cincinnati. Uh, New England only had 4 opportunities for a drive for a chance at a goal type thing, and just it was you know neither team was very powerful in the second half, and FC Cincinnati was lucky to get a goal in the first. And I say lucky because the New England goalie was a 12, which is about as high a goalie rating as you can get. I think 13 is the absolute highest. Uh, and even with that, if you had to go to a keeper check, you automatically lose because 0 to 6 is goal, 7 to I think 12 is you have to have a goalie that's 12 or higher. You'd have to have a 13 goalie in order to miss, and their goalie was 12, so it would be pretty much like either a goal or a save. And had FC Cincinnati got an attack. They scored on the attack, so took the goalie out of the equation that way, and that's how they won the game. In real life, FC Cincinnati and New England wound up a 2-2 draw, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the tying goal was around the somewhere between the 56th to the 60th minute. You'd have to go and look at the box score, but it was somewhere in that area. So this time, my sim did better than real life, so that's good. I actually need to look at my videos and get a record for you and post the record in the description so you can see how my team is doing versus the real team. Uh, and that's pretty much all I have for you. I want to do some fast drive football, some hockey, which in order to do that, I have to do the game stats, have to get the game stats ready because I like to do the stats for the last game before I start this week's game or whatever type thing. So fast drive football, some hockey, and of course the FC Cincinnati game of the week, which they are playing in Charlotte this Saturday. So it is an away game, and you all Tuesday is the 4th of July, so I could be on here doing some stuff. I don't know. Depends on what me and my girlfriend have going, or if my daughter wants to do something. It just all depends. But you all have a good week, and hopefully. And a programming note: I will not be on Thursday because there is a gentleman speaking at Celebrate Recovery on Thursday that I want to hear. because his name is Steve Daner. He was in he's a paraplegic person, and he got basically hit by a driver that was a drunk driver, and he's telling his story and that, and I really want to hear it, uh, because it's kind of like a how do you go, how do you go on, how do you keep God in that after going through that kind of situation? How do you hold on? And I want to hear his message. But you all have a good Fourth of July weekend, and hopefully, well, that's kind of what's in store for you. Take care, guys.